These gentlemen here put a lot of effort and time into today's special mission. Softail, why did you get involved in spending time with the special mission today?
Well, I've known about these guys and known some of the survivors now for almost 20 years, and they got a real special place in my heart. So for me, it's a mission of love.
VA, you two, both of you gentlemen here are the Wright captains today. I know you've spent a lot of time on this. What does this day mean to you?
To me, it's just a day of dedication and remembrance for the survivors and crew members of the USS Indianapolis. That's what this is all about. It's so that hopefully people will take a moment in their lives and remember these guys, what they went through, what they did, and so it'll go on from here. I mean, this is something that these guys deserve. It's something they haven't really had. It's something that everyone needs to know about, and that's why I got involved in it.
Well, I know today with the survivors and their families, it'll be a day that they'll never forget through your efforts and all the men and women that are here today. So on behalf of the survivors and myself and the Indiana Patriot Guard and the guest, I thank you two gentlemen for the effort you put into today. And may God bless the survivors, and may God bless America.
Absolutely.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Go for it. Name?
Rusty Payne.
Where are you from?
Lebanon, Indiana.
Devon Dumford, Lebanon.
Gentlemen, what brought you down here today in Indianapolis from Lebanon?
Mainly just to come down here to honor the people that was left off the USS Indianapolis and to show our pride for what they've done.
Well, I have great respect for anybody who served in the military. I wasn't able to, most of my family was, but the survivors from the USS Indianapolis certainly did their part in the.
Linda Rector from Chesterfield.
Teresa Brock from Post 64.
Opal Caldwell from Post 64.
Ladies, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming out today on behalf of the Indiana Patriot Guard. What brought you out today?
To honor the survivors of the USS Indianapolis.
And you, what does this day mean to you?
This means quite a bit to me because the USS is on our wall at Post 64, and as an American Legion Rider, we came to honor them for their day.
And you, ma'am, what does this special day mean to you and your family? I understand you have a son in the military serving today?
Yes, he was supposed to be home yesterday, and we're kind of still waiting on him, but I joined the Legion, in honor of my son, but I've learned a lot in honor of a whole lot of people.
Where's your son serving?
He's over in Iraq.
And I want to thank you for his service and for you too, and we wish him Godspeed. Ladies, thank you for coming out today. It means so much to the survivors' families and to the survivors themselves and to all of us at the Indiana Patriot Guard. God bless each one of you.
Thank you.
This is Ron Chief Coleman of the Indiana Patriot Guard. And Chief, what is it meant to you today to come out here and see all your brothers and sisters turn out for the reunion today of the USS Indianapolis survivors?
Well, it's always nice to see my brothers and sisters of the Patriot Guard, but today is a very special day because we're here to honor the USS Indianapolis survivors, and we're also here to honor those that were not fortunate enough to survive that horrible tragedy. So we're here to show respect and honor and pay tribute to some of the greatest fallen heroes our nation has ever known.
They have encouraged us to stay for that as long as we want. You're more than welcome to do so. That is not part of the Patriot Guard mission.
We're here for the heroes that stand beside us today. Quietly, they have worn the uniform.
Well, I was in the catapult tower amidships on the quarterdeck, and actually I was asleep at the time. And I used to sleep on the top of the desk because I was a yeoman and had control of the Navy log and the war diary. And it just knocked me right off the desk. So I got up quickly and I got dressed. And I went down below to the quarterdeck. And of course there was a lot of turmoil down there. And I saw Lieutenant Lipsky, who was a gunnery officer down there, and he was burned very badly. And he said to me, "Would you please help pass out some life jackets to some of the people?" He said, "because some of them don't have any jackets." And I said, "I'd be glad to." And then after about 5 minutes, he said, "Do you have a jacket?" And I said, "My jacket is up above." He says, "Well," he says, "you better go get it." He said, "The ship is starting to list already." And so I went up and got my jacket and came down, and by the time I came down, the ship had already rolled over on its side. And he said, "Gentlemen," he says, "it's time for us to get off this ship." He says, "We better abandon this ship." So I just walked off the side of the ship down into the water, and I swam as fast as I could because I knew the suction from the ship could pull you down. So we got out 60, 70 yards, and one of the fellows says, "There it goes." And the ship was standing straight up in the air, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. When she did that, there was a huge wave came along with all diesel oil, and everybody swallowed this diesel oil, which was horrible. We were throwing this up for a couple of days. And so one fellow says, "Do you have a jacket?" And I says, "Yeah, but I don't have it blown up. I had one of the Mae West jackets." He says, "You hold on to me." And he said, "Blow up the jacket." And he says, "You'll be fine." And you know, to this day, I still don't even know who that was because he was covered with diesel oil and everything, but he sure helped me because I had to blow that jacket up, and without that jacket, I'd be a goner.
Sir, how did you find the strength to survive at sea that long with sharks and your shipmates leaving you?
Well, I had a good faith in the Lord, and believe me, we prayed. The whole group of us always prayed. And I was a pretty good athlete in high school. And between that and having the will to live, I wanted to get back. I didn't want to die there, so I wanted to get out and come back home.
All of us here in Indianapolis and the Patriot Guard give you tremendous honor and respect, and I can assure you the story of the USS Indianapolis will never be forgotten.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you, and God bless you, sir. God bless America.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I guess strength and courage, and hope for somebody come get us.
Did you ever give up hope, sir?
No. I figured after we got spotted, I figured sooner or later we was going to get picked up. Might took another day after we got spotted.
I was in the bathtub. Now, bathtub is not what you think it is. It's a gun mount. I learned well when I was in boot camp. They told you you're not going anyplace, so just relax and stay still, or just stay still. And if they find you, they do. If you're not going to make it. So.
And where were you originally from when you joined the Navy?
I was from Champaign, Illinois, and never been more than 50 miles away from home in my life.
And how old were you?
21.
And what do you think about the Indianapolis, Indiana outpouring of honor and respect today?
This is the best town on earth.
Three decks below in the brig compartment. I was on duty. And blew me across the compartment and buried me with a bunch of bunks and men. And I got out, got my prisoners released, went topside, got to my battle station, and the ship laid on its side. I just got on the side of the ship on the port side and walked on down to the water, to the keel, and took off, but I was sucked down. I went down with the ship. And it turned me loose, and I went back up to the surface and started out my 5 days in a life jacket. I think the big thing is to control your mind and not go out of your mind. So many of the guys went out of their mind, and when they did, they just got lost. But I was with a group of 17, and 5 of us made it. And we had 2 guys with knives, and they started fighting one another. And so I had a pistol on me, so I pointed at everybody. I said, I want your knives. And so I took their knives and I threw them all in the ocean. And I said, now if you guys are going to kill one another, you're going to do it with your hands. You're not going to do it with knives. And so we kept peace amongst our group. And
I had heard a story that there was a shark or sharks that some of you men actually gave names to.
Oh, sharks were everywhere. One of them hit me in the leg and bit a sailor alongside of me and clamped into his jaws, and his face was right in front of me, and I buried my fist in his eyeball. And when I did, he turned that sailor loose, and he went off, but the sailor died. He bled. He had too much blood bleeding, and he died. But the shark left him alone, and I could see him down the water. He got hurt when I buried my fist in his eyeball up to about the wrist, and he left us alone after that.
Have you found over the years that the nightmares have gone, or occasionally does something trigger?
No, we get them ever so often. We had one of my great survivor buddies, Dr. Lewis Haynes. He had one of the largest groups of survivors. He had over 400 survivors with him, and only 93 made it. And I was with him 2 days before he died, and he was down in Naples, Florida, and he just sobbed. I held him in my arms, and he just sobbed. And he said, Giles, I can't get out of my head, and he was 87. He said, I can't get out of my head the cries of the men being eaten by sharks. And he said, do you have it? And I said, yeah, Lou, I get it ever so often. And we all do. I'm sure we all went through it. I've fallen out of bed a couple times and get all excited and feel the explosion and all. And
sir, there's no words that I can convey of respect and honor, and I hope the outpouring today can, in a small way, show you that the city of Indianapolis, the Indiana Patriot Guard, and our guests have got the tremendous amount of honor and respect, and I can assure you the USS Indianapolis story will never be forgotten.
That's right. That's what we're here for today. We just finished a meeting with the second watch, and it's young kids. It's our kids and our grandkids and great-grandkids. They all formed an organization that they want to continue on with the Indianapolis story, because this country is so great and made of so much great people like yourself. And let's don't forget them. You know, it's not just the survivors of the Indianapolis and the men was lost on the Indianapolis, but look at the guys you had. You were over in Vietnam, and look at all the guys. I wound up had to go back to Korea, and I thought my war days were over.
I bet you
and
did.
They called me in, and hell, I got shot at Incheon Reservoir.
Well, you're here today, and I'm thrilled. It's a beautiful day here in Indianapolis, and it's an honor to speak and talk to you, sir. God bless you.
I thank you, partner.
And God bless America. Semper Fi.
Semper Fi is right. Thank you, partner.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Congressman Dan Burton, and there were a lot of people who sacrificed during World War II, but there were none who sacrificed any more than those who were on the USS Indianapolis. 880 brave men died in that tragic event that took place because there was no radio communication. They couldn't break radio silence. Only 317 survived, and today I think there's about 85 of those brave young men still with us. I'm going to be very happy to wear this hat, the USS Indianapolis, throughout this whole next year, because I'm so proud to have been associated with men like that. I've met some of them, and they are great American heroes. This year we had them in Indianapolis. We had a parade for them. They were honored once again, but we simply can't honor them enough. Those who pay that price and get the mission accomplished should always be in our prayers and always be remembered.
sir.